Good morning, Highland, this Wednesday morning. This Wednesday, I am recording actually around 8:15 this morning, rather than coming on live at 10 a.m. as I have found that 10 a.m. is right in that moment when I'm working with the kids on schoolwork. And so during these weeks right now, there may be some Wednesdays where I just go ahead and record in advance for you. As trying to do that live feed amidst also helping kids with schoolwork has been a little difficult. So I know that you will still communicate in comments as if we were live, and we can still have community even as it's recorded before. I hope many of you have been finding Brene Brown's new podcast. I even think that maybe Lauren referenced one of them, or someone did. Brene Brown was set to release her new podcast right as all of this was happening. I'm a huge Brene Brown fan. She speaks a lot of common sense. And she has one recently that's on loneliness that I highly encourage you to go and listen to. She has an interview with Dr. Vivek Murphy talking about loneliness, which of course this is a moment where loneliness is something that we feel inevitably. But even how loneliness is not necessarily something just about being alone, but that we can be with people and even feel loneliness. And one of the things I loved is that Dr. Murphy identified these different types of loneliness. One being intimate or emotional loneliness, that longing for some confidant, partner with which you share everything. One is relational and social loneliness, wanting that companionship and friendship, those quality connections. And the third is actually collective loneliness, wanting to connect with this larger body with which you share beliefs and orientation towards the world and everything like that. And the reality is that church for us is so much, often all three of those. It provides that kind of relationship that we have of seeing each other daily. It provides that collective identity that we find comfort in. I meant to bring out, and I forgot, but there was an article in The Atlantic that I was reading that talked about this relationship that this writer had with this other writer who's passed away, and I can't even remember the name right now. But there was a paragraph early on in that article where it just named the relationship was just that daily interaction. It was not a huge, constantly talking about deep things. It was just daily being together. And that's something that right now we don't have. We don't have that sort of collective and relational connection. Instead, probably a lot of us are feeling loneliness. And they talked about how we have to feel connected to ourselves, that we understand our own worth and value, and also we have to feel grounded. So this morning I want to share a poem by William Stafford, and a great American poet. And the poem is called The Way It Is. And I'm going to read it for you, okay? There's a thread that you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. I'm curious for you, what is that thread that you never let go of, that is constant throughout your life, that you could look back at your childhood, at different times in your life? What is that thread that has united your life in some way? That even in a moment of loneliness, that you can identify that thread that you still hold on to. I share that because our Acts passage for this Sunday is a bit ironic for us to read. The passage we'll read is from Acts chapter 2. Awe came upon everyone because many wonders and signs were being done by the apostles. All who believed were together and had all things in common. They would sell their possessions and goods and distribute the proceeds to all as any had need. Day by day, as they spent much time together in the temple. They broke bread at home and ate their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having the goodwill of all the people. And day by day, the Lord added to their number of those who were being saved. It feels a bit nostalgic to read it, doesn't it? As they spent much time together day by day. That has been our life together, and we are grateful for it. We have been grateful for it. We're more grateful for it even now while we don't have it. But I want to name that. I want to reread the poem because I want to think about what is the thread that unites us, that is our collective connection, our relational connection that unites us even now, that we are given freedom by God to be united, not just by shared space, by the shared breaking of bread, which we did do together and we will do again, but there is a thread that we also hold together. So I'm now going to use the word we instead of you. There is a thread that we follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what we are pursuing. We have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While we hold it, we can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and we suffer and get old. Nothing we do can stop time's unfolding. We don't ever let go of the thread. So I'm curious this morning if you want to share in the comments, what is the thread that you hold throughout your life? But also, what is the thread that we have come to hold as Highland Baptist Church? We can't stop time's unfolding. We can't stop change. We can't stop suffering. And yet, there is a thread that we can still hold. For me personally, as I think about my thread, a lot of it is curiosity. A lot of it is even just small practices like running. I've always been a runner. It's important to me. Or reading, or being with the people I love, being close to, especially a few people in my life. When I think of Highland, I think of our justice work, our be doers of the word, that thread. I think of the way that love made flesh, the enacting of love relationally, in relationship, is such a piece of who Highland is, that thread that we hold. So, as you want, I encourage you to share in the comments, what is the thread that we hold that still unites us? It still unites us even as we aren't able to be together, even while we feel loneliness, that there is a thread that we hold. So I wish you well this Wednesday. I hope that by 10 a.m. I am in the thick of schoolwork with the kids and it is seamless. And if it's not seamless, which it probably won't be because likely the internet will go out or something like that, that we will have patience and endurance, that we will hold the thread of kindness, of love for one another. I wish you well, knowing that one day together we will spend much time together, breaking bread, wishing goodwill upon all people. Amen. As you consider, what is that thread for Highland? That thread that has been so important to you. One of the things I want to encourage you to do is to write it out, email it to ourstories@hbclouisville.org. Our Faithful Giving Ministry group is working hard to collect these stories, to share these, to remind us of why we give to our church, why our church matters to us. So if you can think today about what is that thread that unites Highland Baptist Church, that is so important to you that you would never want to let go of it, I want you to email it, ourstories@hbclouisville.org. Thanks. It's also Wednesday, which means that we should celebrate birthdays. So here's some birthdays since I'll last name them through the end of this month. Terry Casey, Margie Besaw, Becky Richards, Jim McBee, Nancy Goodhue, Debbie Hoover, Pat Lambert, Drew Robinson, Jill Ligon-Davis, Pat Ramsey, Tracy Holliday, Emily Moyers, Iris Reeser, Joanne Triplett, Scott Bloom, John Sinsback, Delaney Baker, James Hikes, Jonah Watson, Andrew Glibbery, Collier Harston, who refused to be in this video, by the way, Robin Lee, Janie Bloom, Kate Holmes, Stacy Hughes, Grady and Sean Cornelly, April Halloran, and Virginia Noonan. So we wish you a happy birthday, right? Should we sing to them?
I'm not going to sing.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear all those folks. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.